Well, talk about a guy who got the exact opposite message he was supposed to get. From top to bottom, his understanding was a little off. I knew you to be a hard man. We've all met this guy, too. The guy who says something so utterly sincerely, but so utterly incorrect. Someone who can look you in the eye saying to you, "The sun, rises in the west." Convinced that he is correct in saying that the sun rises in the west, and moreover, that there is a grand international conspiracy of supra-governmental syndicates convincing the sheeple that the sun rises in the east. I knew you to be a hard man. And he even makes a list. He knew he was going to be confronted, and he had an answer ready, something so completely fantastic. You reap where you did not sow. Not true. You gather where you scattered no seed. Not true. Remember the parable of the sower of the seed. Oh, this is the guy who got the exact opposite message he was supposed to get. The master is an all-gracious and all-giving master, entrusting property to his servants. The master gives the whole world gifts. Gifts which grow. A dear friend of mine is a divorcee, unhappily divorced, after he and his wife had a couple of kids. 2 girls, in fact. They were teenagers at the time of the divorce. It was ugly. Things got ugly. The ex-wife took the girls to Colorado because she knew he couldn't move there. He owns a business here in town. Very ugly. One of the girls, during the last visit before they moved away, gave him a present, a tropical plant that she had bought with her own money. It was about a foot tall, and it had 3 leaves. That was over 15 years ago. Today, I have seen it with my own eyes. Today, it stretches from a pot in the corner up to the top of a skinny pole where it picks up a sizable curtain rod which stretches over a double patio door. All along the way, it is loaded with broad green leaves, giving life to this man's home, life in place of a marriage which had died. And isn't it a symbol? It's a symbol for him, that's for sure. His marriage was a nasty wreck. But at least this daughter loved him, showed him a little act of love. The first daughter showed him love, and he responded, and they built a relationship, even from Colorado. And when she got old enough, she came to visit him, which inspired his other daughter, and they developed a relationship. He took care of the little gift he'd been given, and it grew. And he grew as a man, and he learned to love, so that he is beloved himself, a man who took care of his father until he died, which caused another love to blossom, reaching out to his 2 sisters, who loved him back and helped him love their father until he died, and they leaned on each other when he died. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Never does it come to mind to those who believe that God is a giver of gifts that he is a hard man. Well, that would be the exact opposite message. Who is afraid of someone who gives gifts? Has anyone ever been afraid of someone who gives gifts? I think I'd be afraid to tell a giver of gifts that I thought he was a hard man. Wouldn't he be forced to take the gift back? Wouldn't the character of a giving man force him to take the gift away? A very old man who passed away many years ago used to run a milk delivery business in the mountains. It was a tough business, loading up those big galvanized milk cans onto the back of a horse-drawn wagon, one in each hand. He finally got a truck when Chevrolet developed an engine that could carry goods up and down the mountains. Well, times were tough, even for tough men. So when a tough young man came, hat in hand, seeking employment, he hired him. The fellow worked for him for 6 months at a certain wage, and you have to remember, the old man didn't need him. He paid him a wage out of the goodness of his heart. It was a gift, and the entire community knew it. And they marveled at the old man's kindness, for none of them would hire anyone during these tough times. For 6 months, the old man paid the young man until the young man finally got a good job in the city working at the plant. Well, sometime later, the young man came knocking at the door. "You know," he said to the old man, "I worked for you for 6 months at a certain wage. My buddies down at the plant pointed out that you weren't paying me the minimum wage, and I think that you should pay me the difference." Without a moment's hesitation, the old man fetched his checkbook and wrote the young man a check to make up for the difference between what he had given him and what the minimum wage required. As he was handing the young man the check, he growled, "If I ever see you again, I'll kill you." My friends, the Master has already poured out his blood for you as a gift to you. You have life where there is death. Every time you come to the altar, you get a little gift from him, strength to go on with life in the midst of death. You have been entrusted with his most precious property, his life-giving blood. There, my dear friends, is a love that grows and increases and climbs and fills your lives so that you don't have anything really to do except climb on the cross and grow. What can you give back to God except what he has already given you as a gift? Growth itself is a gift from God. Growth is part of the nature of a talent. I mean, didn't you grow right into your talents? Don't you want your children to grow right into their talents? Growth is just natural, given a little water of faithfulness. And you will hear, and they will hear, and we will all hear, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much."